So here we are in Sweden, and we are at the Wanås estate. It's a fantastic castle here with a fantastic art collection done by Marika Wachtmeister and CG Wachtmeister. If you were to give an advice to a person or a couple that wants to start to collect art, what advice would you give?
The first word is to buy. The second word would be learn a lot, see a lot, and don't ever start thinking, where am I going to put this work?
Don't listen to art advisors. Buy what you are affected by. Buy what you can relate to within yourself, emotionally. And of course, beauty. Don't hesitate. Because if you don't buy something that you love, you will regret it badly. Because you can't buy it again. And if you make a mistake and you get tired of it, you can always sell it.
Once you enter into the art world and start collecting or buying art, you enter into a whole world. There are books about the artist, you learn more, and you have something very interesting, a common interest.
Use your birthdays.
Yes.
And Christmases.
Anytime you celebrate.
Use that to buy art.
How did it all started? Why did you get interested in collecting art?
So I was brought up all the time, and my earliest memories are from, they talked about the collection. So I have it in my spine in a way. Always the notion of there was the collection in the castle.
Art became very quickly an important part in our lives. I grew up in New York. My father was a doctor, and my mother actually was an art historian. My parents' passion actually was to look at art. So when we met, very quickly we started going to museums, and yeah, we looked at you. You had no experience of contemporary art,
no.
But you caught on quickly.
And you had no with.
And I did not have as much with that. I had not been in so many homes with Chardin and Rembrandt and Greuze.
The passion between you both and the passion for art, is that the chemistry that kept you together?
Yeah, I mean, you have a family, you have children, you work. A lot of things are, every day. But the art was the fun thing.
I think the passion for art has rather grown now that we're retired. I think it has been more important the last 20 years than the first.
But what took you from loving passionate art to start to buy and collect?
It's actually now that we realize that we were collectors. We bought what we liked, and we bought what affected us emotionally. We bought what we
afforded.
So we haven't looked at us as collectors, I would like to say. We're art lovers, and what affected us, we try to buy.
So if you were to define a profile, what would you say?
I would say that our collection, it mirrors the contemporary art during those 50 years. We started with buying abstract art. We thought we would buy abstract art our whole lives. But then, when we moved to Wanås, and I started the sculpture park and the Wanås Foundation, then we got into the art world. And then, of course, we followed the contemporary art. We got caught on with the contemporary art. Suddenly artists were doing videos. Also, the collection mirrors the politics of the times. Political problems in America, emancipation of women, and the climate worry. Our collection mirrors
time.
Its time, yes.
Mirrors time. We could do that because we got very close to the artist who came here to the park.
Yes.
We've had contact and developed friendships with artists, which is rather unique.
Yeah.
So we got to know them, we got to understand their thinking, and of course their technique and what they wanted to say, mainly through the project here in Malmö. So we could understand what time
was about. And I think this is the thing that we've talked about a lot.
Going from being collectors to have art in your home without being collectors, as you say. And going from that stage and decide to start the Wanås Foundation and start having a sculpture park. The decision from that, how was that made?
It was a very ad hoc decision. We lived here, I think both of us were very surprised. We were kind of shocked to be in the country. We thought it was terribly old-fashioned. I had always had a dream to work with art in one way or the other. We discovered that, oh, here is a park. So we didn't really know that there was a park filled with people. And in the late 80s, many artists started working with sculpture and with large sculpture. Where were they going to show? So it was really putting together, here is a park, here are artists who want to show.
Please wait me. I made a reservation for 2 before I cross the South Pole tonight, tea.
We did our first exhibition in 1987. We had never done an exhibition. We invited 25 artists, who most of them brought ready work, but 3 did installations.
The role of living here had traditionally a sort of, there is a philanthropic idea around it. We live here, we don't want to be secluded and alone, we open up.
The dream was to create sort of a central park where people will feel comfortable, they will come, and through the art that was possible.
I also think one should not underestimate that we were born and part of the 1968 movement, the political movement, where openness and generosity and, in a way, democracy were leading
key
words. Key words. The system works with the artist wanting to show, wanting to display, wanting to get reactions, and the buyer, the viewer, the collector wants to support that but also love the art. I think those 2 driving forces, I think it's very emotional. These pieces around us here in the house or in the exhibition are just more than color on a canvas.
Also, there is a story.
If you look into the crystal ball, into the future, what will happen with your collecting and what will happen with the foundation of Wanås collection?
The Wanås Foundation will exist forever. My hope is that the Wanås Foundation, that artists will find Wanås a place that they want to show. They are not going to do site-specific forever. They're going to do other things. But I think one thing with the Wanås Foundation, it is flexible. First we started only showing outside the park, then we found these old buildings that were empty, and we filled those with art.
The dream is to build a Kunsthall, a separate, beautifully architectured Kunsthall where this collection could be a complement to the park, mirroring those years between 1972 and 2030 maybe. 60 years of collecting parallel to the park.